This is Reality Dispatch, written by Jim Mins.
Maud sat with her bag in her lap and held it tight for a comfort that was unattainable, no matter how hard she squeezed. "Dr. Mellencorp will see you now," the woman behind the reception desk said as Maud rose to take the nervous steps to the consultation room. Once she entered, she realized there was no going back, and that her commitment would be cemented. The office was inviting enough under the circumstances. There was a large-scale print of Paris at night that sat on a wall mount behind his desk. The table itself was bare, save for a well-watered sunflower that looked as if it had been painstakingly attended to. There were no other fixtures or chattels, not a pen or paper. The doctor looked as if he conducted his business via verbal consultation alone. "Now, Mrs. Dziedzic, there is a multitude of reasons why people come to see me, and as part of the screening process, I always ask a series of in-depth questions to any prospective client, just to make sure." "You know," he began. Maud nodded. He cleared his throat. "You know, to make sure that you understand the absolute and complete procedure and its irreversible nature. There is a lot of reward for those who undertake this process, as you may have read about in the media. But it is not without risk, and I want to make sure that you have an idea about that risk before we consider further steps. Does that work for you?" Maud nodded again. "Okay. Well, without further ado, I'd like to hear from you, Mrs. Dziedzic." Maud adjusted her discomfort in the seat. "It's okay. This is not a test, it's just an informal discussion. Completely informal. Please do not worry that anything you might say will make you ineligible in any way for the procedure. I have performed hundreds of them, and I can say, from the potential referrals that walk through the door that you just entered, at least 98% are approved. Whatever you say to me now is completely off the record. I want to get a sense of who you are and why it is that you are drawn to this procedure," he said as comfortingly as his rehearsed speech could gather. Maud adjusted her own throat. "Just relax," he reminded her. "Well," she began, "my home life is a real mess. I'm 63 years old, so I'm not young." "You're not old either," Dr. Mellencorp said. "My only son and husband no longer speak to one another. That means I can no longer speak to my son." "What happened?" "Political disagreement?" "Oh," the doctor rubbed his hands together and nodded. "Go on." "We had a reverse mortgage that sucked the life out of the equity in our home. We are in debt and disarray. I am unhappy and I want something different. I'm too guilty to think like this in the house, so I came to you because I read in the news that you are offering millions for bodies and it's all I have to give, and I figured, well, maybe if I get to leave my family with something close to a couple of $1 million, maybe my change in appearance will also bring my son and my husband together again." Mellencorp stood from his chair. "Thank you, Maud. I've heard enough. I can call you Maud, can I?" Maud nodded. He walked around the front of the desk and leaned on it, a half step away from where Maud was sitting. He folded his arms and smiled. "Maud, I'll be straight up with you, since you were straight up with me. It is correct that we pay handsomely for the bodies that are donated to C-Tech Industries. I cannot put a figure to you anecdotally, but I can say with confidence that should you donate your person to us, your heirs will be rewarded in the millions. This is due to a multitude of factors, but primarily age is a defining one. You are very young compared to those who usually come before us. You still have some decades left in you if your medical screening is anything to go by." "You've read it?" she asked. "I have. I wouldn't have taken this meeting without having an insight into your health. Straight away, you are a healthy specimen and would be a worthy donation to our science division. But I have to ask you, since you have told me all of the reasons as to why you want to donate your body to C-Tech, what have you heard happens to your conscience? This is a very critical question." The doctor tightened the fold in his arms. "I don't know much, to be honest," Maud began. "I know that I am still alive. If I were to go through with it, that is." "That is correct. But other than that, I'm at a loss. May I explain the finer details to you?" the doctor asked. Maud nodded. "See that door to your left?" Maud turned her gaze to where the doctor was referring. "That is our procedure room. I usually ask that if someone agrees to an initial consultation, they decide to go through with the procedure there and then. The reason I suggest this is because the longer you think about the procedure, the less likely you are to go through with it. I think this is wrong because the procedure is one of the greatest forms of longevity anyone can do for their health and overall well-being. I'll explain in detail." The doctor reached into the inside pocket of his jacket and retrieved a metal pen. He placed it on his table. "When C-Tech removes your consciousness from your mind, it is stored inside our specially designed lab-crafted vaults that can vary in size. There, you can see and hear and interact with the outside world just as you and I can see and hear and interact with one another right now. He motioned his gaze to the pen sitting on the table. Case in point, this is my colleague, Dr. Jeremy Scott. He is in transition to the digital world now. His procedure commenced this morning and his consciousness is inside this pen that also acts as a secured transfer facility. See how small it is? Maud leaned in to look at the pen. That's not a pen? She asked. The doctor removed the lid to present a steel syringe where the ink would otherwise be. This is implanted into our patent micro-quantum computer where the materials, aka the consciousness of Dr. Scott, will be moved onto a digitally created world that will look and feel just like this one. In time, his family will join him in this handmade second life, Maud smiled. Her eyes twinkled with genuineness. If donors do not wish to engage in the digital world from the outset, we can arrange to have your consciousness placed inside a device that can live in the family home where you can interact with loved ones until the time is right for you to transfer over. Maud continued to look at the steel key output that protruded from the pen. So, you think I should submit myself today? She asked. Alfred Dziedzic returned from the grocery store at 4:57 in the afternoon. He had bought cold slices of turkey and a six-pack of Budweiser. He knew there was fat-free ice cream in the freezer for dessert. He was looking forward to the election results and he wanted to rub the outcome in the face of his ungrateful son. As he turned the key, he yelled out for assistance from Maud. His arm was weaker in the years since he had given up lifting. He needed her to take the bag of meats. "Maud, you in?" "I'm back here," came her voice. It was twinged, but he recognized it. "Can I get a hand?" "Ah, not exactly." He made it to the kitchen where he dumped the items onto the island bench. He was annoyed at her lack of assistance. "Where are you?" he asked. Over by the dining table near the far exit, a laptop that he did not own and had not seen before was opened and displayed an image of his wife from the neck up. She was smiling at him full screen. "Where are you?" he asked. "I'm here," she replied. "Where is here?" "Alf, I want you to take a seat," she said.
For more stories of fact-based fiction, head to jimmins.substack.com.